Hello, I'm Kelly and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Animal Instinct. It's Sunday the 11th of December 2022 and I'm back with what's probably going to be my last stitchy update for the year, aside from a whip parade and maybe a couple of other things. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with me today. I know there's a lot of Flosstube action happening at the moment, so if you found me and decided to hang around, thank you very much. I've got plenty of stitching to share, especially because we're almost halfway through December now too, so I've got all of November and half of December stitching to share. But before I get started, I just wanted to go back to my last couple of videos. The last video I released was all about my cross-stitch quilt, which you can see behind me. So if you haven't seen that, go check out my Flosstube 50. And thank you to those of you who left me some feedback on that video. That was really nice. And then if we go back again, back to my previous update, Flosstube 49 I guess it was, I asked you to let me know where you're watching from. And thank you so much to everyone who did that. I had so much fun reading through your comments. I still need to go back through and finish responding to them. But I did keep notes of all the places. And I had Google Maps out checking out where all these places were, and I just couldn't believe it. It's amazing. You're all over the place and I absolutely love it. So I'll try and pop some text in somewhere to share the various places. But to sort of summarise, I had stitches in Australia, all states and territories except Northern Territory represented, and then stitches over in New Zealand too. Hello. There was no one in Asia or Africa, which I thought was a bit sad and I need to rectify that. And then jumping up to Europe, I think we had 13, there were 13 countries in Europe. Let's find my notes, which are not in any sort of order. Yeah, 13 countries in Europe. And it was nice too, there were some connections made in the comments. For example, in Luxembourg, I had someone mention they were from Luxembourg and someone else came and said, hey, I thought I was the only stitcher in Luxembourg. So that was really fun too. And then up to the UK and Ireland, lots of you in that part of the world. And I just loved reading all of the place names. I grew up watching, British TV and I just love it. Definitely top of my bucket list when I get around to organising myself to travel again. Then I guess if we head over across the Atlantic, if we go outside of North America, had someone in Brazil, someone from Uruguay living in Chile, and also someone in Jamaica. So lots of fun places. Then up to Canada. Hang on, lost my spot. 7 provinces in Canada, and I did like the little comments about where you're living too. Like in Alberta, it was snowing. It's definitely not snowing here. It never snows here. Loved all of that. So yeah, 7 provinces in Canada, and then down to, last but not least, the US, and 31 states. That's a lot. Yeah, and like multiple people within the states. So like I said, I had a lot of fun looking up Google Maps and working out where you all were. I just think it's wonderful that we have this hobby that's very much a solo hobby, but add social media to that and we have connections all around the world. I think it's fantastic. And a couple of final points on that video. It's very clear to me that a lot of your favourite project of mine is Firefly, my big one. So that's good for me because I know that you're looking forward to seeing it, which inspires me to work on it. And I really do want to keep working on this one. I really do want to finish it. So I have worked on it in November and December. So I have that to share. There were also a lot of comments about Reggie. He has a bit of a fan club. Thank you everyone for letting me know how much you enjoy seeing him. I do have another cat, Jemima. You don't see her very often. She's much more shy and timid. But I just wanted to let you know, poor Reg has been in the wars this week. He had to have a lot of his teeth extracted earlier this year. Poor little guy, he's not even 3 years old. Anyway, the condition that, you know, resulted in that treatment has progressed, unfortunately, and all the remaining teeth behind his fangs have been extracted this week. So he's got his little incisors and his canine teeth, and he doesn't have any other teeth now. So hopefully when he's... Speak of the devil. When his gums heal, he'll go back to normal eating, because I have been struggling to get him to eat since that first dental procedure. Yeah, he's in a mood this morning. But yeah, he's recovered really nicely from the anaesthetic, but I think he's in a little bit of discomfort still. So it's been a bit of a stressful week, if I'm honest. Okay, enough of that, now onto stitching. So let's start with Firefly. I think I was inspired to stitch on it thanks to all the comments I was getting about it, so thank you. Keep them up, please. This is Firefly, if you haven't seen it. So it's a Gecko Rouge kit. Artist is Jay Parks, based on the TV show Firefly, but with cats. Haven't taken it out of the Q-snap, so just bear with me. It's a little bit awkward. That's right. We'll manage. So I'm stitching it on 25 count lugana, and the cats are 1/1 crosses, and the background is 2/1/10 stitch. And in November I stitched about 5,000 stitches in the background down here. Oh, it's looking very dark. So what I did was picked the dominant colour, which was a dark navy blue, and I just stitched all the way down. So I've finished, like, this is a page, finished that page, and then I brought it down. I finished all the blue on this page too, and even down into this page here, and just into this page as well. And then I picked the next colour, brought it down. So there's a lot. Just that blue alone, there's still 100,000 stitches left in the whole piece. So I have to get plenty of background done between cats. Then, because it's December, I wanted to stitch on, one of the cats is holding a toy dinosaur. See above that cat's head. And I just wanted to stitch on the dinosaur just for fun. So I have made a start. I've done about 700 odd stitches. This is why I'm not taking it out of the Q-snap, because I am still working on it. Now, I don't know how well you're going to see it, but this is the paw. I'm not worrying about the paw holding it yet. This, can you see? This is the tail and a bit of a back leg. And these are front legs. And then this is kind of the chest, and the head will be about here. You kind of have to know what you're looking for. I promise it's there. I don't know if you can tell or not. It's just all variations of on brown. I can see it, like I can see it looking at it here. It's pretty obvious. I'm not sure if that's coming through on the camera. Anyway, so all up, since the start of November, I've done about 5,700 stitches on Firefly. Plenty to go, but you know, it all counts. Okay, next up are my Steotchalongs. And first is Supernatural from the Witchy Stitcher. I'll pop a photo of where I was last time. And my plan last time was to finish the unicorn and then have those bottom 4 creatures just to go. And I was going to do the corresponding bottom border as I did each creature. However, I ended up going away for the better part of a week, and I wanted to take some simple stitching. So this is the one I took with me. and actually stitched the bottom border, finished the bottom border, stitched it on the plane, and I didn't have much time in the evenings to stitch. It was a pretty busy time, but I did manage to finish that bottom border, which is good. Stitched in hand, which I don't normally do, but just, I don't know, I just gave it a shot, gave it a go, because I didn't really feel like holding a Q-snap. I travelled pretty light too. So that means we have space here for 4 creatures. So this is where it's looking, what it's looking like. Okay. So when I came home, I finished off the unicorn. And I've started whatever's down in the bottom left corner. I'm not sure, I can't remember. Something else has taken my attention. So I've only got 4 creatures to go. I'd love to finish this year, which we're fast approaching the end of the year, so we'll see. But so this is on 32 count Belfast linen in Cocoa Dust by No. 12 Stitch Co. It's a really pretty linen. And love how this one's turning out. Wish me luck for a finish. Can I do it? I think I wrote down my stitch counts this time. I've done about 2,700 stitches on that since I last filmed. Next is another stitch along that I'm doing. It's Under the Sea by Durene Jones, available through Lakeside Needlecraft. I'll pop a photo of where I was last time. I can't actually remember, so it'll be a surprise to me too. I'm stitching this along with Witchy Stitchers and MX stitching, and the aim was to do one of the large motifs each month and then kind of come back to the little bits and pieces and the back stitching later. So I stitched November's motifs at the start of the month. Oh gosh, I've got magnets sticking to each other. Hang on a second. And then I felt like stitching on it towards the end of the month, and I totally forgot that I had actually already done November. So this was November, which, yeah, I've done some of the back stitching, and not all of it though. So after talking with Joe, decided to see if I can finish the whole thing by the end of the year. So what I did was I went back up to the first page. So there's 2 rows of pages, there's 3 columns, so it's 6 pages. I went up to the top row and just finished all the crosses. So there's seaweed and fish and bubbles. And then once that was done, I did all the back stitching, and then I just moved my way across. And I've worked on this fairly solidly, and this is where it's at now. So I'll come in a bit. So there's the first little chunk. And then the second, we've got the seahorses there and the jellyfish. So all the back stitching's done, and all those extra little fish and bits and bobs are now done too. There's the mermaid, she's really cute. Manta ray. And then on the bottom row, got the turtle. And there's also quite a bit of stitching on this at the bottom, like the sea floor, that I've just slowly, you know, completed. There's a diver. The treasure chest was pretty full on with back stitching, not gonna lie, I was really happy to get that done. And then yeah, so back to November. So I haven't finished the back stitching, and I haven't finished the stitching at the bottom. So, not sure why it's so awkward to hold. Mess of thread there. Anyway, so I've got the main thing in this month is the oyster shell / bass drum that you stitch and pop your initials and the year on. And the crab. I've got one last fish to go. There are so many fish in this. I'm so happy. One to go. And a little bit more of the seafloor. So I'm so close to being done. That's a little jellyfish needle minder from Ginger Stitch AU on Etsy. Very cute. So yeah, I powered through this. Apparently I've done about 5,000 stitches plus the back stitching, which has taken up quite a lot of time too. So I think I need to just carry on with this one until it's finished. And then I can look at Supernatural. So that was a surprise. Fabric is a 32 count Opal Murano from Jodyri Designs. It was a fabric of the month. I'm not sure if it's available, but it's a really nice blue and it's sparkly. That's that one. Next up is the Halloween wreath from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It's a fairly new stitch along that will last a year, and I think the first, it might be the first 3 installments have come out now. I'll put a photo of where I was before, and I have gone and completed that first installment now. Very cute little haunted house. Really enjoyed stitching this, and I'm very much looking forward to coming back to it and continuing on. I think the second bit is like up here somewhere, maybe. And I'm using Cosmo threads for this just to try them out. They're really nice to stitch with. It's on a 32 count Belfast linen. It's Silver Springs from Colour Cascade Fabrics. I did about 750 stitches. Next up is one that I'm not really sure why I pulled it out. It's one that I mean to and I just never do. It's my Chatelaine. If you've only started watching me recently, you probably haven't seen it because I don't work on it very often. But I'm doing the Taj Mahal Mandala Chatelaine, and I'm stitching it on black linen, 32 count linen. It's still on the frame. Hang on a second. I'm just going to leave it as is. You can hopefully get the gist. So this is ridiculous. I like stitching on this. I think it's beautiful. I like a challenge. I never pull it out. Started it in 2019 and I'm still on the center square, but I'm very close to being done with it. So yeah, I'm not sure how well that's coming out. I've finished all the stitching in the center square. I've just got beads and like treasure things to pop in there. And I've started, this is the last round on this square, and then we get into the actual buildings, which I'm really looking forward to. And you can see each of these are filled with this woven stitch. I'm not sure if that's focusing. It's very time consuming, but it looks pretty, it does look good. It gives a good effect. It's going to take me forever. So I think what I'm going to do is do the top row and then start on the building. I put about 1,000 stitches into it. So yeah, it's looking good. It's blowing out a bit actually in the camera. It's not kind of that, hang on, the light on today to counter the gloom. Maybe that. Yeah, I think that's better colour. It's more blue than just white. So I need to continue this so that I can get onto something more interesting in it. Actually, on Chatelaine, let me just put that light back. Now I look yellow. Okay. I helped a friend try and source some difficult threads for their own Chatelaine that they're kitting up, and actually located, well, it turned out to be one of the threads here in Australia. And I just want to give a shout out to Hand Embroidery Supplies. It's an online business, so it's just handembroiderysupplies.com.au. I'll pop a link in the description box below. They have a really good range of threads and fabrics and patterns and, you know, you name it. And just had really outstanding customer service from them. Both threads were hard to source. I had several phone calls about my order, just updating me and giving me options. And it turned out one of the threads, they had one skein in stock, but we needed more than one. And when they finally got their order, turns out that the company's discontinued that thread. So because she had a skein of it, she kindly went through and gave us some options for substitutes. So I just was really, really impressed by the level of care attention that I got from that shop. So I'm not getting anything from talking about them. I was just really impressed. And yeah, if you're not familiar with them, they are an online embroidery store in Australia. Okay, I've got two more whips to go. First up is Pilgrim by Long Dog Samplers. I was working on this last video too. This one. And I was trying to finish, finished the page I was working on, so I've done that. This is where the whole thing is at. It's on 36 count platinum linen using SILS4U PR011, one strand of silk over two. And so I'd finished the top row of pages and I've now completed that whole page in the middle row of pages. And in here is if you see the big horse down here, he's on the bottom row and his head starts here, so that's kind of exciting. Now it's taken me 4 years to finish 5 pages. There's 7 pages left. I want to finish this next year though, so this one's going to be out more regularly. Can I do it? I'm not sure. But really happy with this one, how it's coming together. My lucky last whip is it's another Steotchalong. I have been abysmal at keeping up with this, at participating in the group challenges. This time of year is shocking for me. It's just busy and I'm just tired. That's my excuse anyway. Anyway, it's okay, I'll get there. So this is the Steotchalong. I have done a little bit from last time. If I've got a photo, I'll pop it in. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. But this is where I'm at. So it's finished now. And I'm well behind. But love the colours. And the fabric is really nice too. 16 count Opal by Picture This Plus. So it's called Opal. It's not opalescent. It's just called Opal. Now, this is going to say if at first you don't, and that's actually going to be succeed. And then it's choose your own adventure for the ending. they came out with a pack with 16 possible endings, which that's amazing. So many options. And I just cannot, well, I could not decide. They also give you fonts and all sorts of tips for doing your own ending as well. So it's really nice, and there's a lot of interesting endings coming out. It's ridiculous, but none of the 16 really grabbed me. I didn't know half of the references to, I don't know, TV shows or movies. But I think I've come up with what I want to do. I think I'm going to do a Schitt's Creek ending. And I came up with it all on my own, and then I went onto the Facebook group, and there's a few people who've mentioned doing something similar too. So I came up with it. It's not a unique idea though. So I think I'm going to do, if at first you don't succeed, just fold in the cheese. If you've seen Schitt's Creek, you'll understand that. My other option that I considered as well was something that only Aussies would understand. And I was going to put, if at first you don't succeed, not happy Jan. But I think I'll go with the Schitt's Creek one. So I think, like I said, I've been absolutely rubbish at keeping up and participating this year. I think you need to finish by Christmas to count as a finish for the team, so I should really try and do that. It's not very big, it'll only come to like here. So surely I can do that. I guess for all of those, you'll either see them in my whip parade as whips, or if I do, I'm thinking of doing a video on my finishes for the year. Hopefully they'll be in the finishes video. We'll see. Okay, I've had a little bit of stitchy mail, and I can't remember if I've shown this or not, but I got my next diary, for, like stitchy journal for next year. This is the fourth one of these I've had. I just love the simplicity of them. So I have shown, I think I showed my last year's one. This is a blank one, but I just pop my daily stitch counts in here. I do like to keep track of my stitch numbers. Then they have monthly spreads, just simple. So I just write down what I work on, and you know, like when I do a floss tube, when I have a start and a finish, that kind of thing, just to keep track. And I've just gotten into a habit, when I finish up in the evening, I just fill in the diary. And then the bulk of it is just plain graph paper. So you can do what you like there's a lot. So I'll have a section on like cumulative stitch count for the year. I'll have pages for each of the whips I'm working on, and I'll keep track of numbers per project. If I'm in any challenges, sometimes I do floss tube notes, sometimes I just wing it. But yeah, so that's come. I don't think I've shown it. If I have, meh. And then I did get some happy mail. I'm not going to take them out of the packages, but I did get a little parcel from Gecko Rouge. Like I need any more. One of these was a gift though, and thank you very much to the lovely friend. You know who you are. Thank you so much. And didn't think it should travel alone. So yeah, you can sort of just see my raven finish way back there. I got the companion piece to that. So it's a Lorna Lane Black Cat, and it's basically the same dimensions. So my plan is to stitch it and finish it along with the raven, and hang them up together. I think for the whiskers, like, I don't know, I think I'll just backstitch the whiskers rather than having, I'll decide when I get to it. Otherwise, I think it's, yeah, beautiful, the colours. I loved stitching the raven, so I know I'll enjoy stitching that too. And then the other one is by Leilani Joy. So same artist who created the Tempest piece that I'm doing. And it's sunny. I just love how bright it is, and those colours, and it feels quite happy and like hopeful. It's just really beautiful. Look at her. Sunny. So no idea when I'm starting those. No idea at all. Righto, so we're just about there. I've got some stitchy plans, I guess, for the rest of the month. There's a lot. So I want to finish Under the Sea, Supernatural and the Steotchalong. Can I do that? I don't know. I'm starting Wilbur by Teresa Kogut on the 14th of December, sorry. That is the day that the movie Babe came out in cinemas in Australia in the 90s. And I'm stitching it on, what's going on here? Stitching it on this sparkly Aida from Esther, Danish Stitcher. What's going on outside? The storm's cleared, so everyone's out doing their maintenance. And then the other start, so I'm going to have a new year, new start, although it's going to be an end of year new start. I want to start it on the 31st of December, I think. This was always a planned start for this year. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. It's a Nitka Moscow kit, so I presume you can't buy them anymore unless they're selling somewhere else. But anyway, I got it, when did I get this? Probably a year ago, I guess. Anyway, artwork is by Ronald West, and I don't have a good photo. I've just got this. So it's a lady sitting on the back of a motorbike taking photos in a beautiful location. And it just reminds me of my travels. I spent a lot of time on the back of a motorbike taking photos in beautiful places. I did not wear a dress though. That is not practical. But I'll just leave it. There's half stitches, full crosses and back stitching in this piece. I'm going to try and get the pattern into Pattern Keeper. It's like a massive paper pattern. It came in this tube, cylinder. Yeah, I'm going to try and get the pattern into Pattern Keeper. And yeah, plan is to start this probably, yeah, 31st of December or sooner if I feel like it. If I finish all those other things that I'm going to finish, you know, maybe that can be my reward. So, and I also, if I have time, I want to get back to Firefly and do a bit more on that dinosaur. That's ridiculous. There's no way I can do all of that, but we'll see. We'll see how far we get. Like I said, I also want to do a whip parade, an end of year whip parade, and probably share my finishes and hopefully another fun Flosstube as well. So just keep an eye out. It's a good time of year for Flosstubes. I love whip parade season. They're always fun to watch. Very enabling, which is not so helpful when you have too many projects. So that's everything. Thank you so much again for watching, and thank you again for letting me know where you're watching from. That was a lot of fun, and we'll see you soon for another video at some point. Bye bye.